Hello, welcome to my What If Civilization Started Over series. It's basically telling the story of what if the civilization ended and then thousands of years later down the line, it began again. But in order to get into the starting over part, first you need to know how it ended in my timeline. In the future, in my timeline, Russia has taken all the countries it can before going to war with Europe and NATO and all those stuff. By 2027, Russia won in Ukraine, turning Ukraine into a puppet and taking some of their territory. Transnistria got its independence, and Moldova became another puppet of Russia. And by 2048, Georgia was invaded by Russia, and the whole country was taken. Because of the invasion into Georgia, NATO changed its name to the WWTO because it's no longer the North Atlantic, it's the Worldwide Treaty Organization, and it let in a bunch of new members. The new members were Armenia, Mongolia, South Korea, Japan, Taiwan, the Philippines, Australia, and New Zealand. Russia was more frightened than ever by the expansion of the West, and they were scared that if they didn't act now, they would be never have an opportunity to invade and grow again. War was closer than ever, and all that it needed now was a beginning, something that would start it. And that would be Kazakhstan. Kazakhstan didn't want to be next to be invaded, so it joined the WWTO, and that terrified Russia because now it was more isolated than ever. So, in a quick decision, it decided to start a war. Nuclear bombs from Russia were sent all across Europe and North America. Most of America was completely devastated. It had the most nuclear bombs dropped on it. Canada was pretty badly damaged because of its low population, other than a few giant, cities, which were nuked. And Western Europe the war was really badly damaged too, with cities like London, Berlin, and Paris all being nuked. Russia knew that it couldn't win a long-term war, so it quickly grabbed its forces and pushed right into Western Europe. It got to Warsaw, which was not nuked. Russia did that on purpose to try to keep it around, and after a long battle, it took it. This was a big win for Russia, and over in the Middle East, there was a lot of stuff going on, and Azerbaijan joined the war against Armenia because it didn't want. It wanted more land to connect its enclave. Over in China took Taiwan, it took the waters, and then the country shortly after. It then invaded Mongolia because it recently became a NATO member, and it then pushed into South Korea along with North Korea and fighting Japan and South Korea in the Pacific. By the second year of the war, 2052, the tide began to change. The early gains that Russia got in the beginning were now beginning to be lost, and China and Russia were beginning to lose traction as the West got their bearings together and began to push into Russia. By year 3, the new Axis powers had basically lost. So, China, Russia, and North Korea, between them, they still had around 1,000 nuclear weapons, and they decided it was the only decision left was to use it. So they did. and they launched them not at military bases, not at nuclear shelters to protect, to shoot nuclear weapons at them, but they just targeted cities, just trying to do as much damage as possible. 3 months after this move, they already lost the war, but before the war was over, those nuclear bombs killed over 100 million people, along with the ones earlier that already killed around 1 billion people. Plus, the nuclear winter was beginning to set in, and the casualties from the war itself, famines altogether, led to a casualty number from the war being around 3 billion. The war was over, but unlike when World War I and World War II ended, World War III wasn't celebrated for being over. And that wasn't it either. The war left lasting scars. Billions of people fled from Asia, Europe, and North America, leading to a humanitarian crisis in Oceania, well, the parts that weren't bombed, Africa, and South America. And with that, have a good day. And with that, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, could you please consider liking and subscribing? It would really help me out. I appreciate all of you. And with that, see you later. Have a great day, and goodbye.